You think nothing is happening, but this is what you don't see. Alright? There's a moment almost everyone goes through, a stage where life feels completely still, A stage, no progress, no results and all, no obvious change, just a repetitions. Wake up, work, scroll, sleep, and repeat. And during this phase, a thought slowly starts creeping in. Okay? Nothing is happening actually. And no matter what I do, nothing changes. And I'm stuck in my life. What if, okay? And what if I told you that something is actually happening? Something that you just can't see it yet. Alright? Because life, you see, because the most important transformations in life don't look like a progress at first, okay? They look like a silence, right? So this is what I say. This is like the silent phase of change, right? So every major change in your life has two phases: the visible phase and the invincible phase. Right now, you might be in the invincible one, right? And this is where most people quit because nothing external confirms that they are improving. No applause, no result, no validations, just effort that feels like it disappears into nothing, But behind the scenes, something very different is happening. You are actually building invincible strength. Okay, even if it doesn't feel like it. Okay, but before your life changes, your mind changes first. Okay, and that process is slow, almost unnoticeable, but it is actually happening. Okay, and every time you resist an old habit, questions your old thinking and all, reflect instead of react, you are actually rewiring yourself, not in a dramatic way, not instantly, but gradually, and that's why you don't see the results immediately, because the first transformations is actually internal transformations, and internal change is invincible at the beginning. All right, so there's a reason if it feels like nothing is actually happening now, because your brain is addicted to visible proof. It wants instant results, instant validations, instant feedbacks. But growth doesn't work like that, okay? Real progress doesn't, okay? Real progress, it look like repetitions, boredom, discipline without reward, effort without recognitions, and that creates doubt. Yeah, and you start thinking that if I was improving, I will see it by now. But that is not how transformations work. Okay, but most change is happening beneath the surface long before it becomes visible. Okay, think of it like this. Imagine building something massive underground. Like an MRT tunnel, or underground train tunnel. Day by day, you dig, you reinforce it. You're making sure that the foundations is there. That it will. You need to build a stable foundations, obviously. But from the surface, nothing looks different. Okay, no structure yet. Okay, no visible progress, just digging and all. That's where you are right now. Okay, you are not doing nothing. You are laying a foundations for a version of your life that hasn't even surfaced yet. And foundations takes time. Okay, because I try to relate this in my current industry, in my working environment. Like I am in the constructions industry. So when it comes to constructions, there's a lot of phase in the constructions, and foundation is the most important thing. Whatever that you are building, foundation is the most important thing. If the foundations is unstable, or we detect there's a detection, clash detections or whatever is it might make the building fall apart. It might make the buildings unstable and even or whatever it is. So foundation, it takes time. But yeah, we know that it takes time, but they determine everything that comes after. Okay? So I want you to break the old version of yourself right now. Something else is happening too, okay? You are shedding old versions of yourself. The old habits, old thinking pattern, old limitations that you have, and that process feels uncomfortable. And I have gone through that. Because change doesn't just add something new, it removes something old. You know, that's why growth sometimes feels like confusions, emptiness, frustrations, and stagnations and all. But it is not a stagnation. Yeah. It is a transitions. You are in between who you were and who you are becoming. You know, your highest version of yourself. And that in between stage is always the hardest things to recognize. So consistency is deceptive. It feels like nothing. It doesn't feel powerful while you're doing it. It feels repetitive and boring, you know, small, even pointless, you know. But consistency is only invincible in the short term. But you see, if it's in long term, it becomes everything. You know, don't ever underestimate consistency. Okay, it becomes everything, you know, when it comes to long term. Whatever that you manifest, whatever that you have in your dream, your goals, your short term, long term goals, you are able to achieve it. Okay, because you're a human. You have the will, you have the power. You have the power to take actions, isn't it? So because what you repeat daily quietly shapes your identity, and identity shapes outcomes. And so even when it feels like nothing is happening, you are stacking invincible progress every single day, you know, without you even realizing it. Okay? So here's something most people don't realize. Breakthroughs never happen at the beginning of effort, you know. They happen after it. Okay, you need to put on the effort, you know. You need to put a consistent effort. Okay, not just once in a lifetime effort and you back down afterwards. No, not that kind of effort. You need to go all in. You need to keep on taking actions every single day, even if it's small. Okay, there is always a delay between effort and reward, disciplines and results, change, and also the visibility and all. There's always a delay, and during that delay, most people give up. That's the thing, not because they weren't close, but because they couldn't see how close they were, because they think that nothing is happening. But the truth is, every breakthrough in your life so far came after a period where nothing seems to be happening. And that pattern has always been there, you know, and it still is. Yeah. Okay, so what you don't see right now is this. You're not stuck, you are not failing, you are not wasting time. You are actually learning to be patient, building resilience, strengthening disciplines, rewiring your identity, preparing for a change, and all of that happens before results show up, and you will be able to achieve the success that you are planning to get, or you are planning to achieve in 3 months or 4 months from now. Okay, so when it feels like nothing is happening, it actually means something important or something bigger is happening beneath. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so yeah, let's wrap this up. One day, you will look back at this phase of your life. You know, the quiet phase, the uncertain phase, the nothing is happening phase, and you will realize that was just the turning point, the beginning of everything. But only if you don't quit here, okay? Because right now, you are closer to change than you think, even if you can't see it yet, especially because you can't see it in real life. So I want you to keep going. Not because it feels rewarding, but because something is building inside you that hasn't been revealed yet, that haven't been visible in real life yet. And maybe this video wasn't just a reminder just for you, even if, you see, it's just not a reminder. Maybe it was just a proof that your progress is real, even if it feels invincible. Okay? So just believe in yourself that you can do it and you're gonna make it. Or by hook or by crook, you're gonna make it. Okay? That's all. And hope you guys have a great day today, and please drink more water to keep yourself hydrated. Yeah, that's all for today. Thank you so much for clicking and watching until the end. That's all. Bye bye.